Hello everyone, hope you're doing well, hope you're keeping safe, hope you're keeping sane, hope you're enjoying the reopening of the pubs if you have ventured out. And hope that everyone's doing well and come out of lockdown relatively unscathed. I've had a few people recently ask me about trading and what my opinions on trading is, obviously stocks and shares, Forex trading, all that sort of thing. And I will preempt this video, which will probably be quite a short one, by saying I know very, very little about trading. I have some shares, which I was given as part of a redundancy package years ago. I had an eToro account very, very briefly because my mate suggested that I should get one. This was a few years ago, and I did, and I lost a bit of money, and I never really went on it again. So my knowledge of trading is very limited, but I don't think that necessarily stops me from having an opinion on it. Let's face it, there's very little that seems to stop me from having an opinion on something or another, so why should this be any different? Now, I know people who are involved in trading on shares and Forex trading and all across the board. A lot of the time they have spoken to me about it, they talked to me about it, and to be honest, a lot of it's gone in one ear and out of the other. But one thing I did determine is that it wasn't for me. Now, the reason it wasn't for me is that you can make money trading. If you go for sort of low risk, low return, investments. You spread your investments. Then actually it is a reasonable way, I believe, in investing money. My father, for example, has stocks and shares in various companies, very low risk, well spread out, and he makes a small yield on them. I don't really know what it is, to be honest, in percentage terms, but it's going to be, sub 2%. But at the moment, obviously, with interest rates being really, really low, having other investments as a way of making your savings or your investments work for you is a good alternative. But I would say that anything like Forex trading or any of this sort of quick turnover, high volatility, high potential, trading to a gambler is potentially lethal. And I think if you approach any form of trading with a gambler's mentality, I think that can be potentially very harmful. Let me explain. I think if I had £1,000 to invest, just say for example, and I put it into any form of investment, any form of stock, any form of commodity that has a relatively safe but relatively low yield. So I would say get 2% a year on my $1,000, whatever you're working in. I know for a fact that I would get very bored of that very quickly, and I would look for something that would return a much higher yield much more quickly, and obviously at a much higher risk, because that's the gambler's mentality. We don't want to sit there and play, best practice blackjack, for hours and hours on end at small stakes to make our money last and to potentially, try and get a little bit of an advantage. Obviously, you don't at best practice blackjack, but you know what I mean. What we want to do is we want to try and get a quick result. We want to get a quick hit, because that satisfies the craving. It satisfies the urgency for us to see a result from our investment. We want to see we've actually made some real money here, and this is why when we talk about gambling, I think it's important when you have a gambling mentality and you have a gambling addiction or a gambling problem, is that you're not able to moderate that down to a level that is comfortable, that is acceptable to you. For example, I would love, I say love, I'm not sure I would now, but when I first quit gambling, I would love to have been able to go onto the online casinos, deposit like £50 and play on sort of 20p stakes and 10p stakes and 30p stakes or whatever, and get some entertainment out of it, to actually enjoy playing the games for a reasonable period of time. I knew I couldn't do that because that wouldn't give me that satisfaction. It wouldn't give me that dopamine hit. It wouldn't give me that sort of potential return and that risk that actually gives you that dopamine hit. It's the risk. It's the it's the suspense, not knowing whether your spin is going to win, your spin is going to lose, and how you're going to end up. That is what we become addicted to. And if you translate that into trading, I do think it's got a potential for disaster. In the same way as I spoke about before with poker, Now, I believe you can be obviously a plus value player in poker. You know, well, obviously you can. It is a thing. There are profitable players in poker, and there is a lot more skill to poker than there is to the vast amounts of gambling. However, if you approach poker with a gambler's mentality, the chances are you will play in a much less rational and a much less calculated way, because you want that quick result, you want that quick win and that quick hit. If you can approach poker like you can approach trading, with a level head, without that gambler's mentality and without that need to see quick results, then yeah, I believe for some people it may be profitable. However, if you're a gambler and if you're watching my videos, the chances are you are, my personal advice would be to stay away. And on that note, if people could stop spamming my comment section with links to trading and Forex sites, that'd be really appreciated. Well, apologies if you've seen them. I do tend to delete them or remove them, but I don't always get around to it before people have seen them. So if people could stop spamming, that would be fantastic. Otherwise, I hope everyone's keeping well. Sorry the videos have been sort of fairly irregular recently. I am working on a couple of actual other little projects, which hopefully you'll see the results of soon. But throughout all of this lockdown, as we call it, I have been working. I've also been spending a lot more time trying to look after myself, having a lot more exercise and things like that. So that's sort of taken up quite a chunk of my time. And I'll be lying if I said I hadn't been to the pub once or twice over the last couple of weeks. So I hope you're all keeping well. Any other questions, keep them coming. Love to get your comments. Thanks for all your support. Thanks to all my new subscribers. And I'll catch you in the next video. Cheers, guys.